What's up, Internet? I'm Eric Assenmacher, and I'm just going to take a whole bunch of stories found on the Internet, piece it together, and call it news. Now, for consistency's sake, it's all going to have to be about superheroes, just so there's a little bit of consistency from start to finish, but you get the idea. My first segment is called Social Juxtaposition, where I take two different things from social media, mash them together into one thing, and it kind of looks funny in comparison. Now, since it's my first time doing this, I'm going to go for the low-hanging fruit. That joke will be more funny in a minute. Joss Whedon, the guy that directed Avengers 1, Avengers 2, a few other cornerstone pieces of nerd culture. Now, he's put out a video recently starring a whole bunch of people that he's worked with before, like Nathan Fillion, Neil Patrick Harris, Mark Ruffalo, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, the list goes on and on. Well, the main reason is he wants to get everybody out there and remind them to register to vote, which is a very important issue. And I'm not going to go too far into the video because it gets a little political, but the one important detail that I need to juxtapose is that one of the things that's promised is that Mark Ruffalo will go full dong if you register to vote. I mean, that would be insane! So here's a slash fic I found on the internet. Tony stared deeply into Bruce's eyes. Bruce looked at him and said, "Tony, aren't you afraid of me hulking out, destroying you?" Tony replies, "No, Bruce, because I've been with you before, and for some reason, you just can't get horny." Bruce stares back at Tony. He says, "That's my secret, Tony. I'm always horny." And that's as far as I'm going to go, because could not pay me enough to read that ending, but apparently I did improv it for free. My next segment is Two Truths and a Wildly Unfounded Claim, where I go into rumors that have surfaced that have not actually been confirmed or denied yet. So, I really only call it Two Truths because of the play on Two Truths and a Lie, but I find it kind of funny, honestly. Our first rumor has to do with CW's Arrowverse, and I know what you guys are thinking. Are you going to talk about Flashpoint stuff? No, I'm not going to talk about anything Flashpoint. Sort of. What I will talk about is Arrow's 100th episode. Now, recently on social media, people behind the scenes of the show have started posting a couple pictures here and there, you know, get people excited for the 100th episode. Like they had this one picture of Stephen Amell sitting on a bench with somebody in full Deathstroke gear. That's pretty cool. But then they also had this one picture, and it's of the table read for the 100th episode. And it reads, "No Flashpoint, no flashbacks." But in the corner right over there, you can see the actor that played Robert Queen, Oliver's dead father. Now, there's one place where we know that Oliver's father is not dead, and that is Earth 2, as evidenced from this one scene in Flash Season 2, where Earth 2 Harrison Wells sees a report and blah, 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 blah. He's the Arrow of Earth 2. That's basically it. It's a long, drawn-out explanation. He's the Arrow of Earth 2. Now, it hasn't been stated that this is what the actor's doing, but I'm going to say this one is a truth, because it's very plausible that this is what's actually going to happen. Our second rumor here is that the Clone Saga is coming to the Spider-Man movies, and not in Homecoming or the next movie, but like 5 movies down. Additionally, Tobey Maguire is slotted to play Kane, the slightly misformed clone of Peter. The rumor is wildly unfounded, mostly because I just made it up so that I could have something to say in this segment. That was wildly unfounded without having to go too deep on the internet for this. But seriously, could you imagine having 2 Spider-Man actors in the same Spider-Man movie? That'd be insane. If you kick it over to Spider-Verse, you could throw in Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man UK. Wouldn't even have to put on an accent this time. Our third and final rumor is a long-running one. And I mean long, like 4 years long. And that is that Netflix and Young Justice, the DC animated show that brought us Nolan North as Superman, want to get together and have a season 3 baby. And I'm going to say it's not happening, but I really want it to happen. I need it to happen. And, creator of the show, Greg Wiseman, always says that the best thing you could do to make that happen is to hashtag keep binging Young Justice. Our third and final segment for today is Cast and Release, where I talk about casting announcements, casting call announcements, and the reversal of both of those. Now, the only thing I could really think about putting on here is, those guys, Screen Junkies, they make honest trailers, they host movie fights, they got like 1,000 shows on Screen Junkies Plus. I think Monday has one, that's weird. Anyway, turns out they're creating a whole second channel on YouTube based solely on news. Now, if that wasn't enough, they've decided to Now, the only thing I could really think about putting on here... Now, the only thing I could think about putting on here is this. Now, the only thing I could think about putting on here is this. Screen Junkies? Those guys that make honest trailers, they host movie fights, and like 1,000 other shows on Screen Junkies Plus. I think Monday has like one. That's so weird. Anyway, they've decided to make a whole second channel on YouTube based solely on news. What's even better is that they've opened up a casting call, and they've asked for all these fans to try to apply to be the new Screen Junkie. I mean, who in their right mind would just stand around their living room delivering news to their laptop and hope that they can become the next Screen Junkie, am I right? Well, that's everything for this update. Should we hope for some Ruffalo Dong? Is the Robber Queen from Earth 2 going to make an appearance in Arrow Season 5? Will I be the one that becomes the new Screen Junkie? Actually can't answer any of these questions. I'm legitimately asking you. Don't forget to follow me on all the social thingamajigs and give me something for my next social juxtaposition. If I find 2 things that I like, I might just give you insert prize here. I've been Eric Assenmacher, signing out.